What's going on, everybody? My name is Scott and welcome to the channel. So if you're familiar with my channel, I usually do product reviews. Don't worry, I'll throw this one in for you if it just makes you feel uneasy that I'm not talking about products. But also I had a fan that asked about my watch collection, and so I figured why not talk about it since I really enjoy watches. And I'll tell you how it started and where we're at now and where we plan to go with the watch collection. So 4 years ago, I got this watch winder and I didn't have any watches because I was just wearing my Apple Watch everywhere because I was tracking stuff and blah, blah, blah. But I really started to get more into watches after I bought this one. And this is my Tissot. And this is a Quartz watch, which ironically I put in here, but does not need to be used in this at all because quartz does not need to be wound. That is manual winding watches, but this is a quartz. And I've had this for I guess about the same time, about 4 years. And I have not once had to set the time after the first time sent it. Haven't had to change the battery, and it's still telling time perfectly, guys. So if you're looking for easy, low maintenance, low cost, then a quartz watch is gonna be a really good option. If you're looking for more luxury, I do think that Omega might have some quartz watches that you can do as well. So that's also a good option. But let's get into kind of my first big watch that I purchased and the one that I wear regularly. Now, this is the Explorer 2, and these have really increased in popularity over the years. Used to be the Explorer, now the Explorer 2. And I like this. This is a professional watch by Rolex. That's what they call them. And this was meant for, cave and I guess I think they're like polar and stuff. This one I think is for polar usage. So if you're exploring in the polar regions, that's why it's black. And then the white one is more for cave because it's dark. And so the black dial wouldn't make sense there. And that's why they have the black and the white dial. But what really stands out for me is this orange, the splash of orange on the Explorer 2. It's really nice. The letters written Explorer 2 is in orange, and then also the hand, which I think is super nice splash of color. But it's very unique because Rolex is all about kind of like this formal, old school kind of thing. But then they have this watch that has, a little bit of spice to it. And I really like that about the Explorer. And this is one of the lowest produced. I think it's only 4% of Rolex's, actual supply is Explorer 2s. So really nice. I did get this from my Rolex boutique, and I waited around, I think, 3 to 6 months for this one. And this was my first Rolex. A lot of people probably can't get in and be like, hey, I want to Explorer 2 for their first watch. Sometimes it doesn't work like that, but it did for me, and I got really lucky. So I'm very fortunate for that experience. Now, my second one that I really like wearing is my Yacht Master. This is the 40mm, and man, this thing is a beautiful watch. So let me be careful with it. I haven't worn this as much because I'm always worried about doing damage to it because it's so beautiful. But it is I think it's called rhodium or something like that. I don't do watch videos, so don't come at me, watch guys. But it has a platinum bezel and then the stainless steel. So it is a mixture, which is really nice. And that's why it's a little extra cost on this. And it's just a solid piece. It has the slate dial. It's really cool. And then this bright blue second hand. And then also the Yacht Master is written in that bright blue as too. So if you're probably seeing now a little bit of a pattern for me, I like those splash of colors. I like the little party in the formality, right? So it's really interesting watch in my personal opinion, and it's beautiful. If I had to say, if all the Rolex watches were the same price, same desirability, I think personally I would pick this watch over every single other watch out there. I know, maybe I'm crazy, but I love this watch. If you look at the graph here, you'll see that the Datejust, the Daytonas, the GMT2s, the Submariners, all those watches are made in higher quantity than both the Explorer 2 and the Yacht Master. So I'm super happy that I was able to snag these from a boutique. I didn't go on the gray market for these, so I'm really happy about this, guys. But absolutely beautiful. And then also the bezel is it's bi-directional, so you can go either way. You can twist it. The unidirectional ones, like the Submariners, those are for when you go underwater, they don't want to be hit. So it's kind of like way for you to keep track of the time for your air tank or something like that. So they can't go the other direction. So it only goes one direction, while this one can be fidgeted in both directions, which I love because sometimes I get a little anxious. And honestly, it's just super nice to just throw on my wrist and play with. Just absolutely in love with this watch, guys. It is stunning, absolutely stunning. So those are the three ones I personally wear the most, but then my wife, she has two that kind of fell out of rotation. She has an Omega with a white dial, and then a Datejust smooth bezel green mint or mint green dial, that 31 millimeter that fell out of rotation for her, and I'll show you why in a second. But this one's still in her rotation. This is a 28 millimeter Oyster Perpetual with the blue sunburst dial, which is really cool because it is a discontinued color, just got discontinued this year. So it does make it a little bit more rare, and it just shimmers when it's in the sun. I love it. All the new Oyster Perpetuals are flat colors, so you will not see this sparkling shining for now, at least in the next year. Maybe they come back to it, but right now this is a discontinued color and is really neat in my personal opinion. So very fortunate to have this one. And then the reason why our mint green 20 or 31 Datejust is no longer being worn, the smooth dial or smooth bezel one, is because we finally got in the Jubilee fluted 31 millimeter mint green dial, and it is stunning. She looks absolutely amazing in this thing, and the watch looks absolutely amazing too. It is phenomenal, guys. I am personally waiting on the list for the 41 millimeter in this exact same one. So hopefully I will get mine in the next month or two, and that will kind of sum up all the watches that I really wanted from Rolex for my collection. There is one other watch that I really want to get that is outside the Rolex family, and that is the AP Royal Oak Offshore Diver. I know a lot of people are like, the Royal Oak is the best one. I get it. There's a demand for it aftermarket, but really I am not selling my watches. I'm not looking to, profit or something like that. I want to wear them. I want to enjoy my collection. And for me, the Royal Oak Offshore Diver is special because it is first of all, the face of it, the dial is awesome. Blue and green are my two favorite colors there. And then on top of that, it has the bands, the straps, which they're interchangeable. So you can do black, you can do blue, you can do green. They have this like calfskin one that looks phenomenal. Just hands down, one of my favorite watches all time. So those are the two next ones that I'm hoping to add in the next year or two. And I think at that point, that rotation of watches, I'll be pretty much set. And if you're wondering, guys, if why these two aren't on a winder, it's just because we don't have the space. So back to the product. If anybody is making watch winders out there and you want to send one that has about 8 spots, because we plan on adding a few more watches, we would love to review it, and we'd love to add to our collection and highlight it in your watch winder. But if you're wondering if that's bad for the watch, no, it's not. Because she wears these two regularly, pretty much every other day, depending on her mood. It's gonna be manually wound, kind of. She can either do it, she can turn it, or kind of like flicking the wrist kind of movement. It kind of just winds it itself, while this Quartz one doesn't need any help. And for mine, I do put it on the winder, or I just wear it all day. This one more so just because I don't wear it as often, just because I'm afraid of, this one, I got some scratches there. I did some work to it, guys, so I'm not afraid to go out and do stuff with that one. So this one is a little bit more babied, but I love, it's really sleek and light, so it's really easy to put under clothes on date nights and stuff like that. Just draws a lot of attention. But that's kind of where I'm at in my watch collection. So I hope I answered it with a little bit of knowledge. I know I'm not a watch guy, I'm not a watch YouTuber, but I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you learned a little bit about myself and my preference and stuff like that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it, guys. So take care, that's all I got. Oh, and yeah, hit that follow button, and maybe we'll make some more watch content in the future.